I need to finish what I started. And that's the only reason that I ever even stepped onto the sideline from where I was at initially. Because I had to exercise some demons for myself, but more than anything is when you hear the narratives that are written by people who are not here and just have random stuff to say, it irks me because they don't know.
Doe Christie is no longer staying quiet. After more than 20 years of silence, he's finally speaking out, and not just with words, but through legal action. Doe has filed a major lawsuit demanding $4.6 million from his wife, Jackie Christie, and his former NBA teammate, Chris Webber. But this isn't just a regular celebrity feud. This case involves hidden truths, shocking DNA results, and emotional pain that runs deep. What started as a private suspicion has now become a public legal battle involving betrayal, deceit, and decades of lies. Doe always had questions in the back of his mind. Something didn't feel right, but he pushed those doubts aside for years. He raised a girl named Chantal as his own.
Christie was his life. To the point where he was playing with the Sacramento Kings, when he out on the bench, he wasn't allowed to look up because she said she didn't want him to catch the eye of a cheerleader or somebody in the crowd. And you see this on tape because they did a whole special of it, to where he sits down on the bench after he gets subbed out and have to do this till he gets subbed back in.
Loved her, provided for her, and proudly called her his daughter. But eventually, the doubts grew too strong to ignore, so he decided to take a DNA test. The results turned his world upside down. It confirmed with 100% certainty that Doe had no biological link to Chantal. After over 20 years of being a father, he discovered he wasn't related to the child he had raised. That discovery alone was heartbreaking.
I have to say, I give advice to successful Black women like yourself that's young to continue to follow your dream no matter what. People are going to get mad. Right now, my light is shining. It's my time. And there's a lot of people that don't want to see that. But I tell you what, I'm going to keep on shining.
But Doe still needed answers. He didn't want to accuse anyone without proof. So he requested another DNA test, this time involving Chris Webber, someone he had played alongside and trusted for years. The second test brought even more pain. It confirmed that Chris was Chantal's biological father with 99.99% certainty. Doe had unknowingly spent 2 decades raising his teammate's child, and no one had told him the truth.
So now Valentine's Day is tomorrow. I do know you're in Sacramento. What's going to be the Valentine's Day plans? You have to tell me.
You know, the team's going to be playing Phoenix on Valentine's Day.
Oh.
I have to shoot a podcast, and I have a party that they're doing for me here, so I won't be going to this trip. So This will be our first Valentine that I won't be with them. So we had Valentine's last night. We had dinner, we gave gifts, and it was so amazing. And I told him, "You're my lifetime Valentine."
The betrayal was deep. It wasn't just about raising someone else's child. It was the fact that the people closest to him had hidden the truth. What hurt even more was discovering that Jackie had known all along. Doe's legal team found Jackie's personal journals, where she admitted her doubts from the beginning. In her own words, she confessed to staying silent and not having the strength to tell the truth. But that wasn't the end. Soon after, a recording between Jackie and Chris surfaced. In the voicemail, Jackie was clearly heard telling Chris to stick to their story.
Apparently, the chick that he's been with that came up with the whole Basketball Wives show concept, Jackie had cheated on him with Chris Webber and had a baby that is now in her 20s. And she basically lied and had Doug Christie thinking that this young lady was his daughter, when in all actuality, it was Chris Webber's baby.
So that's real news.
That one conversation made it obvious they had worked together to keep Doe in the dark. This wasn't a simple misunderstanding. It was a long-term cover-up. The lies had been protected and maintained for over 20 years, all while Doe continued to live under a false identity as Chantal's father. Instead of falling apart, Doe took action. He didn't break down or cause a public scene. He hired lawyers and began building his case. What followed stunned the entire reality television world. Doe filed a detailed and well-supported lawsuit in Los Angeles County Superior Court. He wasn't throwing out wild claims, he came prepared with documents, records, and undeniable proof. Doe's lawsuit listed several serious accusations: false paternity, public misrepresentation, intentional emotional harm, and financial damage. And he had the receipts. He calculated exactly what he spent over the years while raising Chantal. That included $180,000 for private education, $95,000 for university contributions, $72,000 in medical expenses, and $230,000 in family trips. He also added $500,000 in lost income due to the damage the false story caused to his career, and $1. $88 million for emotional pain. All of that brought the total to $4.6 million, and his legal team warned that the amount could increase once more records were reviewed. But for Doe, this isn't just about money. He's fighting for the truth. He's asking the court to make a legal correction. He wants Chantal's birth certificate changed to reflect Chris Webber as the biological father. It's not revenge he's after. It's about making the record accurate and finally putting the truth out in the open. Meanwhile, the effect on Jackie has been massive. Her public image took a hard fall. After being served with the lawsuit, she reportedly collapsed in her home and cried uncontrollably. Then, in what many are calling a breakdown, she went live on Instagram at 4.6M, looking confused and overwhelmed. She spoke vaguely about betrayal and loyalty, then abruptly ended the video mid-sentence. Viewers quickly labeled it a real-time breakdown. Comments poured in, calling her out for trying to shift blame and act like the victim. The video only fueled the fire and made people more suspicious. But the most shocking move came just days later. According to legal documents, Jackie allegedly tried to influence Chantal, who had been asked to testify in court. Jackie reportedly sent an envelope through her assistant to Chantal's apartment. Inside was $15,000 in cash and a handwritten note. The note said, "You don't have to be dragged into this. Let your parents handle it. I'll take care of you like always." However, Chantal didn't fall for it. She took photos of the envelope, the cash, and the note. Then, she handed everything over to Doe's legal team. Within hours, Jackie was hit with a cease and desist order. Her actions were officially recorded as an attempt to interfere with a witness. The court took it seriously. Trying to influence testimony with money is not only unethical, it could be criminal. Jackie's attempt to stop her daughter from speaking only made things worse. Now, the courtroom drama isn't just about lies, it's about manipulation, silence, and broken trust. During the legal depositions, Doe spoke with emotion, but also with calm. He admitted that he spent 20 years protecting Jackie's public image while sacrificing his own peace. "I thought I was protecting love," he said, "but I was just defending a lie." His words were honest and heavy, and the courtroom felt every sentence. When it was Jackie's turn to speak, her story shifted several times. She admitted that she had doubts in the first year of Chantal's life, but still chose not to tell Doe. She said she never meant to hurt him, but the damage was already done. The court didn't accept her explanations, especially when it came to Chantal's forged birth certificate. Then came Chris Webber's testimony. He entered quietly, no cameras, no attention, just the weight of everything catching up. He admitted, "I knew there was a chance." When asked why he stayed silent, he said, "I wanted to protect them, but silence, as the lawyers pointed out, is not innocence." Doe's attorney asked directly, "You let another man raise your child without telling him?" Chris answered, "Yes, and I regret it every day." That one sentence may have destroyed his legal defense. It showed that he knew the truth and chose not to speak. Doe's request to change Chantal's birth certificate is more than symbolic. It's a step toward fixing a history built on lies. And this lawsuit might become a landmark case in the future. Doe's lawyers are working to create a legal standard for paternity fraud. They believe that if this case is successful, it will give others the right to sue for emotional and financial harm caused by false paternity claims. That could change laws across many states. On top of that, judges are considering financial penalties that would make Jackie and Chris responsible for every expense Doe took on under false beliefs. With the forged records and the attempted bribe, There's even talk of criminal investigations. Jackie could face charges for fraud, lying under oath, and trying to influence testimony. Chris might also face legal consequences in a separate case, being prepared by Doe's attorneys. Interestingly, Doe hasn't tried to profit from the scandal. He's rejected offers from interview shows, documentary producers, and reality TV specials. His message is clear: he's not doing this for fame. He wants justice and truth, not a spotlight. While others might use a moment like this for publicity, Doe has chosen a different path. He wants to clear his name and protect his future. Meanwhile, Chantal is also taking back control of her life. She's officially started the process to remove Christie from all of her legal documents. This change isn't just about a name, it's about reclaiming her identity. Soon after, she announced a new memoir titled Built on Lies: My Life as Someone Else's Daughter. Early previews suggest it will tell her story from childhood to the moment she discovered the truth about her parents. In a preview clip, she said, "This isn't just about my dad. It's about finally living in truth and helping others do the same." She didn't point fingers. She just spoke like someone who had finally broken free from a life built on secrets. Chris Webber is feeling the consequences too. Endorsement deals that were in progress were quietly canceled. His motivational speaking events were put on hold. Internal messages from his PR team showed panic. One message read, "We didn't think this would go to court." Jackie said Doe would never go public, but Doe did, and the results have shaken everyone involved. VH1 is now reviewing the Basketball Wives franchise. Contracts are under legal review, episodes may be pulled, and producers are reassessing scenes that falsely portrayed Doe as Chantal's father. Everyone expected Doe to jump into the drama. Instead, he walked away from the spotlight and chose to focus on the facts. In his words, "I'll use this attention to tell the truth, not to keep the lie alive." As the case moves forward, Jackie may face criminal charges, while Chris could be sued again. The legal dust hasn't settled yet, but one thing is clear: Doe Christie is finally free from a lie he lived in for more than half his life. And he's not just fighting for himself, he's setting a path for others who've lived the same painful story. This story isn't just about betrayal, it's about truth finally coming to light after years of silence. Doe Christie stood strong, chose truth over pride, and now he's fighting not just for himself, but for everyone who's ever lived a lie without knowing it. Chantal is reclaiming her identity, and Jackie and Chris are facing the consequences of their choices. What do you think about all this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next update, because this story is far from over. Thanks for watching.